fish to grow bigger and ensure that we have more fish now and in the future.
In our replenishment area, fish are free to grow and reproduce. As their populations increase, more fish will spill over into other areas where fishermen can increase their catch and their income.
I support the establishment of a marine protected area on my island.
I support the establishment of marine protected areas on my island.
I support the establishment of marine protected areas on my island.
I support the establishment of a marine protected area on my island, and you should too.
And you should too.
And you should too.
And you should too.
See the future with Bahamas Protected.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, the Minister of National Security weighs in on claims of an uptick in reported incest cases in the country. And a Grand Bahama family is appealing for assistance to locate their missing loved one. Plus, a male juvenile in police custody over in Abaco. Find out why. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight as cases of sexual abuse continue to dominate national news. Local women's group are also speaking out on the reported cases of incest. During an exclusive interview with the Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, weighing in on the issue with our Jolanda Thompson-Everest. She reports.
The reports are overwhelming, as recently crime news have been filled with cases of sexual abuse and incest. The Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, telling our ZNS News team that it is difficult to say there has been an increased number of incest cases in the country, but notes that what is obvious is that there is an increase in the amount of cases being reported. The minister adding that it is apparent that more victims are speaking up, which is now resulting in more arrests.
There are many persons who believe that we've always had this level of sexual violence, which is what it is in this country. And the challenge is, as we make it more and more comfortable for people to make complaints, to feel that they can be confident that if they make a complaint, something will happen. If they feel confident that if they make a complaint, they will have the support that they need, then more and more people will complain.
Unlike many other countries, he says the focus in the Bahamas is to make it easier for victims to come forward.
In the Bahamas, our objective is to make it as easy as possible for the victims of sexual violence and sexual abuse and domestic abuse to make a complaint. Our object is to make it comfortable, to make the support mechanisms available and to encourage persons to make this complaint.
The Minister of National Security says for those that are contemplating on whether or not they should speak up, he says the Royal Bahamas Police Force implemented a unit to protect victims and survivors.
More people that feel comfortable if you're sitting down and you are agonizing over whether you should make the complaint because you don't know how you're going to be received, you don't know if you're going to receive the support. The Commissioner of Police now has instituted a freestanding sexual offenses domestic violence unit that they're outfitting premises now that will also house the support mechanisms there. And so I expect that as we make it more and more comfortable for people to report this type of crime, I trust that more and more people who are the victims of the crime will now have no hesitation in making the complaint.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
In other news, national examinations are expected to begin soon. This year, public schools are fully face-to-face with some protocols still in place to protect students. Tonight, the District Superintendent of Education for Grand Bahama, Bimini, and the Keys says teachers are doing their best to ensure that the youngsters are ready to sit the upcoming national exams. Here's Aja Quant with this report.
Now that the fun is over with students competing in various sports and in competitions, the 2023 national examinations is on the horizon, and District Superintendent Ivan Butler says the Ministry of Education is focused and ready for those testings. The Bahamas General Certificate of Secondary Education, the Bahamas Junior Certificate, and the grade level assessment tests are all approaching, and District Superintendent Ivan Butler says they are ready.
Students are preparing for GLAT at the primary level, and PJC and BGCSE is at the secondary level. So right now, we would have finished with most of our competitions, and we're just gearing more towards academics.
Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, all schools were forced to go virtual. According to Butler, this year they will be fully face-to-face, and says they are pleased with how the schools are operating. He adds that there is one concern in education, which is
learning loss recovery, and so we have initiative in place where we're going to test every student in school now to see how much they would have lost over those 2 years, and we have initiatives in place to see how we could correct those situations.
In the past, the results of the national examinations have always fluctuated. However, in 2022, it was reported that the results went up by some 14.2%, with 1,000 students achieving A to C in 5 or more subjects. When asked his thoughts on how he feels the 2023 results will go, Butler had this to say.
Specifically for Grand Bahama, the last 2 years, in spite of the COVID, we did very well in the pandemic. Our results were very well the last 2 years, and so we're pleased. And so now that we're face-to-face, we are hoping to improve on that. And so our teachers, many of our schools have after-school classes, many have lunchtime classes. So teachers are committed to the cause. They're working very hard, going above and beyond the call of duty. So we're confident that this face-to-face could only, in turn, give better results this year.
Now, March, April, May, and June are all the national examination testing months, with BGCSE being first up for the high schools. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Aja Quant.
Well, over in Abaco, a male student is in police custody tonight, and another is nursing a serious wound under his eye after an incident unfolded this afternoon. But according to acting district superintendent on that island, it was the fight that followed this freak accident that has left many parents concerned. Aja Quant explains.
Ramiko, what should have been a normal day for students at the Patrick J. Bethel High School quickly turning left this morning. According to acting district superintendent of Abaco, Chester Cooper, a male student on board a school bus discarding a knife out of the window hit another student underneath his eye, leaving a wound. But Ramiko, it doesn't stop there.
When the bus pulled and stopped in the front of the school, they would have basically ran over the kids, and a fight started.
After the fight unfolded, Cooper says they were able to contain the matter and took the next course of action.
We put the kids in the classrooms and just did a random search just to make sure that it wasn't an isolated incident. And after that occurred, we actually resumed classes. So we had classes all day. Of course, there were some parents who were concerned about the safety of their children. And they came to the front gate, more or less demanding that they will be given access to their kids so they can take them home.
In February 2023, a 17-year-old high school male student reportedly was stabbed while playing on a field. This incident also happening at the Patrick J. Bethel High School on Abaco. When asked if there is an uptick in violence in schools on Abaco, the district superintendent says,
actually, no, because over the last few weeks, it's been very quiet here at Patrick Bethel. I'm consistently checking, and like I said, this is the first major incident that would have occurred in quite a while. I understand that there are issues that exist here at the school. So of course, it's the ministry's policy to ensure safety on campuses. We can try to do whatever we can do to ensure that happens.
Now, Ramiko, according to Cooper, the student that would have thrown the knife out of the window is currently in police custody. However, we reached out to Press Liaison Officer Assistant Superintendent Stephen Roll, who says he could not comment on the matter at this time, but will give an update once the information becomes available. Live in studio for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Azure Quant. Back to you, Ramiko.
Thanks, Aja. In news from the Crime Beat, police on Grand Bahama are investigating the circumstances surrounding the discovery of a quantity of suspected marijuana yesterday. Reports indicate that shortly before noon, officers attached to the Marine Support Unit while in the area of Hearn Lane made checks of an abandoned building. There they discovered a plastic bag containing 35 foiled packages of suspected marijuana. No arrests have been made in this incident, but the matter remains under active investigation. Switching gears now, a Grand Bahama man is missing and his family is hoping you can help them locate their loved one. 44-year-old Hissel Roach frequents the Prepperport area and was last seen in December of 2022. Aja Quant spoke with the family and filed this report.
It has been 3 months since Hissel Roach was last seen in the Prepperport area. According to family members, the 44-year-old man has not been seen since December, and his siblings are concerned.
My brother has been on the streets for the past, I would say on and off, living on the streets for the past maybe 10 years or so. He's been in and out of Strandlands rehabilitation, and he just prefers to stay on the streets regardless of the help that we have tried to give him.
Ultimately, we just want to know that he is safe and that we could get him help. There is an issue of trying to get a person who doesn't want help, and we've battled that for some years now on what does the law do for persons in that situation.
The missing man's sister says most of the family lives outside of the country, and that is why it is difficult to keep up with his whereabouts.
I've been reaching out to a lot of persons for the past couple of months who is familiar with going by and checking on him, and also he frequents the Pepperport area, and all the pump attendants, all of those, they know him very well. So I would have reached out to those that I have contact for, and everyone keeps telling me the same thing. We haven't seen him in a few months, which is very strange. So now I am extremely concerned that something has happened.
Brother of Hissel, who lives in New Providence, AJ Brennan, claims another sister who resides in Grand Bahama recently reported Roach missing to local police.
I believe that they needed to search certain institutions. They wanted to check out the Strandlands Rehabilitation Center, as well as even jail, to see if he might have been in there. And I think they needed to get back to her before they, I don't know what they would call it, but maybe making the report official or some version of that. But she did correct me and said that she reported it.
The family is asking anyone with information, no matter how small, on the whereabouts of Hissel Roach to contact them immediately at 375-4464 or 533-2002. We also reached out to police officials who could not confirm if any official police report was filed. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Azure Quant.
Now, police officials say that they are looking into this matter and are appealing to the public to contact them if you see the missing 44-year-old by the name of Hissel Roach. Well, don't go anywhere just yet. When we come back, hear how a Grand Bahama woman is shouting for joy after winning a brand new vehicle courtesy of Chances. The details of that story and a whole lot more when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, returns.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Dolly Madison.
Pizza Hut Freeport has the perfect deal for you. Order a large one-topping pizza, 5 cheesy breadsticks, and a 2-liter drink for just $24.70 with that. Choose your favorite topping and enjoy our fan-favorite cheesy breadsticks with an ice-cold 2-liter drink. Available at Pizza Hut for delivery, carry-out, and curbside. Order today. Call us at 352-9191. Pizza Hut Freeport.
List your home in Grand Bahama with H.G. Christie. Visit their new office in the Port Lucaya Marketplace. H.G. Christie, celebrating over 100 years of service.
Come and see the cabinets and countertops in stock now at Specialty Kitchen and Bath, number 16 Oak Street, phone 688-9661. As the country celebrates the 50th anniversary of independence, we salute Bishop Cleophas Capron on his birthday and being the band director at the first independence celebration. Happy heavenly birthday, and may his soul continue to rest in peace.
Be a part of another exciting hat show with fashion from past to present at the Church of God Prophecy, Coral Road, Sunday, March 26th at 6 p.m. This is a fundraising event.
Join the Port Department for a town meeting on March 13th at 6 p.m. in Mount Zion Baptist Church, 8 Mile Rock, with the Honorable JoBeth Colby Davis, Minister of Transport and Housing and Member of Parliament for Elizabeth. This meeting is especially relevant to the boating community.
I say that my work is on the water. We diving, throw no line is how I survive. Listen, from Foggy to Yellowtail, from Jackfish to Kilo.
I'm actually the founder and owner of Drive There. There's many islands, there's many keys, but a lot of tourists, a lot of residents, we don't really know what we have to offer. I want to have the whole Bahamas in their pocket on their cell phone on one app. You go to the App Store or the Play Store, you search for Drive There, you download the app, you'll see an option to explore the Bahamas. You click Explore the Bahamas, and as simple as that, you'll see different categories, and then you'll see the different businesses under those particular categories. So a user that's viewing a business profile, they would see, of course, the name of the business, they would see their stock or inventory, they would see their business hours. One of the main things that we offer is the ability to post stories or status. Similar to WhatsApp status, you'll do the same thing with Drive There app. So it's just a unique app for the Bahamas. If you're a business owner, we can schedule a demo for you. We'll walk you through the process. We'll get your business profile up and running, and you can see exactly how Drive There works. To contact us, you can visit our website. Our website is drivethereapp.com. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn at Drive There App. Our cell phone number is 242-439-6667.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Jarrell Investments Chances announcing the winner of their grand raffle, awarding the recipients a brand new vehicle. The company's marketing manager and the winner sharing the excitement of the company's annual raffle. Jolanda Thompson has more in this report.
She says God has finally heard one of her prayers. Carlene Williams screaming out of joy in the parking lot of Jarrell Investments as she receives her 2023 white Toyota Agua. Williams receiving the news during Chance's block party held on Saturday, March 4th. And when she heard the news that her name was picked out of thousands of competitors, she deemed the moment unbelievable. Jarrell Investments marketing manager Karen Wilson granting her the prize and adds that the giveaway is one of many initiatives created to promote community engagement.
We're here trying to help people, and we're also building communities. Here at Chances Games, we like to give back to our customers. Before all of this took place, we went to 4 islands. Well, we did 4 parties to give back to children, which was our Chances annual fair. We hit Eleuthera, Nassau, Abaco, and also Grand Bahama. We did a toy drive, which we gave back to children. So December 26th, the raffle started to give back to the adults.
Williams, filled with emotion, says that this giveaway is a pure example of how God smiles on those that has a cheerful and generous heart.
Chances, giving back. It is so kind. Like myself, I have a great heart. I love people. I always give. People don't know. So who knows? Carly has a great heart of gold. You have to give to receive.
She says the prize is definitely overdue as she reached out to the company numerous times for assistance. However, she says that nothing happens till the right time, and this time God has moved mightily.
Oh, I love it, Chantis. Only I've been trying to get y'all with the numbers, with the sports, with everything. I'm always, can you help me do sports? I need a number. I'm just lucky. I'm just a lucky kid. I'm successful. I'm lucky. I'm blessed.
Carlene says that her daughter and hubby played a major role in participating in the raffle, and she wants to thank them and the person that picked her name. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson Everest.
It's now time for your check on sports with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to Sports. Some exciting news for Grand Bahamians. The University of Bahamas will be conducting trials this Saturday in volleyball, basketball, and soccer. Here's an update.
We at the University of Bahamas, we're looking at also recruiting the next generation of professionals. Persons who have a desire to become doctors, lawyers, accountants, educators. And we are going to Grand Bahama, yes, to look for good athletes who can increase and strengthen our program, but we're looking for persons who can strengthen our professional arena in regards to the Bahamas. We're hoping that we can get persons who are strong in education, but also has good athletic abilities.
Switching gears now in sports, Grand Bahamian swim sensation Lamar Taylor, competing for Henderson State University, is the new national champion at the Division II level. Swimming out of lane 5, Lamar won the 50 free for the Red Waves in a time of 19.04 seconds. The junior was followed by his teammate Jack Armstrong, who finished as the national runner-up in Indianapolis at Nationals. Congratulations goes out again to Lamar Taylor. Now in softball, the Grand Bahama Amateur Softball Association will be holding Bahama Games trials this Saturday, March 11th, and next week, Saturday, March 18th, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex softball field. And finally in sports, it's officially track season.
Commencing on Thursday, we'll have our track events beginning at 9 a.m. Also on Friday, 9 a.m., and then on Saturday, we'll begin at 12 noon.
Through this partnership, Fidelity Bank aims to inspire the athletes to achieve their full potential, not just in sports, but also in their personal and academic pursuits.
It is important to support our young athletes. Grand Bahama has some of the most talented youth in the world, and this meet gives them another opportunity to showcase their hard work in athleticism.
And that's a quick check on sports, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Grand Bahama Stepping Out is now online. Visit their website. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Find them in Nassau at the top of the hill, Mackey Street. Call 394-7100 or WhatsApp 727-9098. Stepping out.
New year, new look. No, not you, but your home.
Decorative pillows in all colors, textures, and sizes. And if you want to make a statement, pick from over 20 different styles of our 5x8 area rugs. Get cozy in our lightweight comforters. And if you want to switch it up, we have duvet covers in a variety of colors. Decorative pillows from $23.99. Area rugs from $149. Comforters, $29.99. Duvets from $34.99. It's all here at Island Bedding.
The coconut got this, cocoa skin driven madness, juiciness ice the back this, sweet like a sugar in a dripping like ice honey, addict, all of my love me, sweet like a sugar in a watch it go ba 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 ba, 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 sweet like a sugar in a
new clear platinum flavor.
flavored beers with a kick of rum. Make it platinum.
On your marks, get set, go!
Grand Bahama. Get ready for the most highly anticipated track meet of the year. Island Relays Bahamas. It all begins Friday, March 17th at 4 p.m. and climaxes on Saturday, March 18th at 9 a.m. at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex, featuring 6 universities. University of Oklahoma, University of Arizona, Texas A&M University, University of the Bahamas, University of South Carolina, and Vanderbilt University. Calling all corporations to join the Corporate Challenge. Tickets are just $10 for ages 16 and over and $5 for kids. On March 17th and 18th, Island Relays Bahamas is the event you don't want to miss. Contact 439-6161 or email info@islandrelaysbahamas.com for more information. In lieu with Island Relays Bahamas, take part in all activities at Pirates Cove, March 18th. Proceeds go to the Red Cross.
Hey guys, welcome back to Health Bites. Once again, my name is Alex. I'm the marketing manager here at the Fitness Connection. Today, we're going to be talking about a few tips that can help give you that fresh summer glow all year round. Of course, the first tip, don't roll your eyes, drink water. Water is really, really important for not just making sure that your body stays hydrated, but making sure that your skin stays soft, hydrated, and supple. So make sure that you're getting at least 8 glasses of water in a day, especially with the temperature starting to increase with summer coming. Another thing that can have a really positive effect on your appearance is supplementing with something like collagen. Collagen is actually a protein that makes up not just your joints, but also is important for your hair, skin, and nails. So it's really, really easy to see exactly how taking a collagen supplement can provide benefits for your beauty from the inside out. Last but not least, to help lock in all of that work that you've been doing from within, you're gonna wanna make sure to moisturize your skin. Even if you have oily skin, it's still really important to lock in that moisture, especially, like I said, as the summer months come, you don't wanna dry out. So if you do have oily skin, you can pick a light moisturizer, like the Aura Glow here, or if you're looking for something a little bit more heavy, you can try a natural oil, like jojoba. We have a wide variety of these at the Fitness Connection, so we can find the perfect one that will be helpful to you. If you guys are interested in any of the supplements that I spoke about in the tip today, make sure you stop by your nearest Fitness Connection location. We have 2 in Nassau, 2 in Freeport. We can help get you all the information that you need.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Deandra Sherman, you are our Facebook friend of the day. We are also wishing you a happy birthday, and we want to say thank you so much for your support. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Solutions for common problems during this COVID situation. We fighting to protect our livelihood across the nation. This is for we to learn, share ideas and concerns, to live life like we deserve. We must change we mindset first. Build strong economies, closer societies. We all have a duty. CEF is for me and you. Beyond COVID, CEF is for me and you.
Dixon Hill Lighthouse in San Salvador to let you know that marine protected areas make dollars and cents. A well-designed and managed network of protected areas can generate income for nearby communities. From MPA managers to lodges to eco-tours, there is money to be made.
Healthy marine ecosystems help to protect our islands from climate change and other impacts that we cannot control. Healthy coral reefs help to break down fake waves, and mangroves absorb storm surge and help to protect our coastline.
Older and larger fish tend to carry more and healthier eggs than younger fish. Fish replenishment areas will allow fish to grow bigger and ensure that we have more fish now and in the future.
In our replenishment area, fish are free to grow and reproduce. As their populations increase, more fish will spill over into other areas where fishermen can increase their catch and their income.
I support the establishment of a marine protected area on my island.
I support the establishment of marine protected areas on my island.
I support the establishment of marine protected areas on my island.
I support the establishment of a marine protected area on my island, and you should too.
And you should too.
And you should too.
And you should too.
See the future with Bahamas Protected.
The ZNS community page now has its own home on Channel 230. Be sure to tune into this channel to see informative notices, funeral announcements, birthday greetings, and much, much more. So watch the ZNS community channel today on Cable 230.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the National Report, signing for the world's first solar-powered resort. Mid-year budget debate opens in the Senate. Thank you to a tourism icon. And in sports, Cougars celebrate basketball championships. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by BTC. For the fastest speeds across the Bahamas and the lowest price by far, switch to BTC today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lapinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. The Bahamas is setting a stronger foothold in the sustainable luxury market. This now that a new multi-million-dollar resort development, deriving its name from the Taino word for earth, spirit, and water, is set to get underway shortly. The nation's leader heralding it today as having the lowest environmental impact of any development in the Caribbean. Cleopatra Murphy has the story.
It's being touted as the first of its kind in the world, and in a matter of months, the $56 million Kiama Bahamas resort development will call Elizabeth Island Exuma home. The project, powered by Silent Resorts, is a fully solar-powered zero-carbon footprint luxury development spread across 36 acres. Government and principals of Kiama Bahamas signed a heads of agreement at the office of the Prime Minister Thursday for the development that includes a 2-acre protected marina, 6 private beaches, 28 4 to 6-bedroom solar-powered villas, resort amenities inclusive of beach clubs, restaurants, spas, and pools. Even yachts will be solar-powered. Kiama Bahamas President and Managing Director John Long highlighted the company's commitment to environmental preservation, adding that Elizabeth Island is a magical place, vowing to leave it better than they found it.
The most important aspect is of the entire island, we're only developing 16% of it, which is really unprecedented for development and how low density we are. So we're preserving the natural fauna on the island, very limited with respect to the roads that we're putting through. They will be natural materials, crushed stone. And even the swimming pools that we put on the development, they're recycled shipping containers. So we're not digging holes and pouring concrete, which is really destructive to the natural environment.
Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis says Kiama Bahamas, with its emphasis on sustainability, aligns with the country's climate goals and is primed to become one of the most sought-after sustainable properties in the region.
Kiama will also be a welcome addition to the growth of the Bahamian economy, creating long-term sustainable employment for many Bahamians. The construction phase of the project is projected to employ between 40 to 50 Bahamians, and the resort will employ 75 permanent staff once it opens.
A proud member of Parliament for Exuma and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honourable Chester Cooper, deemed it a wonderful addition to the country's sustainable tourism product.
The Prime Minister will be able to boast about silent resorts when he goes to COP28. Right, yeah. So this is truly a good fit for our strategy for the future.
Similarly, the development's managing director, Adam Lloyd, is eager to see Kiama Bahamas become a reality.
We're absolutely honored to have the opportunity to be able to bring this vision to reality in such a beautiful location, to bring forward this model of sustainable resort development, but to also partner in not only the preservation of a marine national park and hopefully the improvement of that, but also to have an opportunity to introduce our owners to the beauty of the Exumas and to the Exuma people.
Work on the development is set to begin within a month or two, and an early opening is pegged before the end of the year. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Well, meantime, Royal Caribbean International's new 17-acre destination experience slated for the western end of Paradise Island in 2025, expected to have minimal to no impact on local vendors. That assurance coming directly from Press Secretary Clint Watson, who says targeted visitors for this project are a small percentage who will not leave the ship. That explanation coming on the heels of the Davis administration approving the RCI deal, and this despite being highly critical of it while in opposition at the time, charging that it would hurt local vendors.
The key point is what was presented and approved in principle is a revised proposal, which is smaller in scale and excludes a significant amount of government land. There is about 4 acres of Crown land that is connected to the revised project, and that 4 acres was granted in May of 2021 prior to this administration taking office. It is also important, Chester, to note that RCL has committed to creating some entrepreneurial opportunities for Bahamians, including the ferry service to be fully operated by Bahamians and owned by Bahamians. These were additional asks that were specifically included that the government wanted to ensure Bahamian stakeholder and ownership in this. Also, Bahamians will be able to invest up to 49% in this project. So when you look at what Prime Minister Davis in opposition would have said, it was based on what the circumstances at the time were presented. That has changed. This is not that same proposal. This is a different proposal.
In today's briefing, the press secretary also reiterated the government's efforts to move ahead with its demolition exercise to aggressively and meticulously rid the country of shantytowns.
That we are moving methodically, that's important here, methodically to ensure that we are not creating another crisis. Efforts, however, have been engaged to identify documented residents in shantytowns. Documented residents. Now, once you've identified those documented residents in shantytowns, we will be able to identify their employers, who obviously they have work permits for. The employers will be made to live up to their living obligations for their employer who is on work permit. If they do not live up to those obligations, the work permits will be revoked and the individuals repatriated. That's for documented. For those who are undocumented, they will be processed for repatriation. And then to the third category, which are Bahamians who are living in these communities, the government will assist in finding relocation places for those Bahamians that are living there.
Well, now to news from Parliament. Having been approved in the lower chamber, senators today opened debate on the mid-year budget, with Minister of Economic Affairs taking the lead, as we hear in this report from our Fern Carey.
Economic Affairs Minister, Senator the Honorable Michael Halkitis, urging caution and vigilance as he led off debate on the mid-year budget in the upper chamber on Thursday. He noted that while the domestic economy is continuing to rebound, prudence is also necessary in order to rebuild headroom should another crisis occur. Nevertheless, he affirms the country's economic outlook is positive.
In terms of the macro outlook, the outlook for macroeconomic performance is the same as articulated in the government's 2022 fiscal strategy report, which we have tabled today in this place and which was previously tabled in that other place. Output growth for the remainder of the fiscal year is anticipated to comfortably achieve and even exceed the target growth rate of 3%. And this optimistic outlook is supported by broad-based foreign direct investment activity and targeted government support in infrastructure, agriculture, and small business.
The Economic Affairs Minister also cited noticeable improvements in the revenue collection rate for the first half of the fiscal year.
The period from January through to June tends to produce more revenue than the period July to December. And so what's important about this, Mr. President, the fact that we collected 44.9% of the forecasted revenue in the first half of the year, is that in comparison, if we look back at the fiscal year 2019, which can be considered the last so-called normal fiscal year, I'm talking about before pre-Dorian, the total revenue collected during the same period accounted for 38.2% of the budget forecast. So back in 2018, we collected about 38%. This year, we're collecting 44% of what we forecast.
He pointed out that revenue continues to perform even better in the second half of the fiscal year. And as it relates to government spending, the Economic Affairs Minister revealed that it increased on the recurrent side, and he detailed what accounted for that spike.
Spending on compensation of employees increased by $42.2 million. This was necessitated by the higher public sector wage bill, reflecting adjustments for general salaries, union agreements, minimum wage adjustments, staffing needs, and promotions. So of the $105 million increase, Mr. President, $42.2 million of that went directly into the pockets of workers and retirees in the form of increased pensions, increased wages due to the industrial agreements, in the minimum wage adjustments, and staffing needs, and long overdue promotions.
Minister Halkitis also shared more insight on government borrowing and the deficit.
The central government's fiscal performance for the first 6 months of the fiscal year show a deficit of $276 million, which accounts for 2.4% of GDP. And we'll recall that for the whole year, we are projecting a deficit of 4.3%. So at the halfway mark, at 2.1%, you're basically on track to achieve the target.
He boasted that the government is on track with its domestic economic forecast in the months ahead. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
In other news, nearly 200 countries have signed on to the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Land to protect marine life in international waters covering about half of the planet's surface. Adopted in 1982, the High Seas Treaty provides legal tools to establish and manage marine protected areas and covers environmental assessments to evaluate the potential damage of commercial activities. The Bahamas, however, is not on that list. Press Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Clint Watson, explains the government's position.
We already have the top 20% of nearshore marine environment as protected. That's already in place. This new development is asking for us to protect another 30% of our exclusive economic zone. Now, the issue with that is, at this point, it's unexplored. So what needs to happen is we need to learn more about this. We need to have consultation with multiple stakeholders involving this, have discussions before we can even begin to consider signing. And so the Department of Environmental Health Protection wants to have those consultations first before we move and agree to anything in the international signing.
In related news, new evidence from the European Union's Horizon 2020 funded Provide project shows that rising temperatures will increasingly limit the options available to adapt to climate change in the Bahamas, with increased intensity of tropical cyclones, sea level rise, and ocean acidification expected to strain infrastructure and affect people's livelihoods. The report emphasizes that limiting global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius is fundamental to reducing pressures on resources and risk to people. A shot in the arm for the country's continued fight against the COVID-19 virus. The Bahamas today received 23,760 doses of the Pfizer vaccine from the United States government. And for the first time, the bivalent vaccine is in the Bahamas, a total of 12,960 doses. It is authorized for use as a single booster dose in children 6 months through 5 years. The remaining 10,800 Pfizer vaccines are for adults. To date, that's over 319,401 the U.S. has donated. The handover ceremony taking place at the Lyndon Pinling International Airport. Thanking the American government for the wonderful gift, Health and Wellness Minister, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, says he's pleased to have the vaccines in country that will go a long way. Darville adding that what's so interesting about this particular donation is that the first time there's the bivalent vaccine. Now, U.S. President Joe Biden has committed to donating 1.2 billion doses globally, representing the largest commitment of any single country or group of countries in the world. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
It has the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of. Now it's here. Commonwealth Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly approval. It's a service that just comes naturally to us, just like how love of tradition comes naturally to you. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Our lives are full of action. Hey, babe.
From the studio to the video to back home.
All while balancing family life.
BTC Fiber Internet is our solution.
BTC is best for us. Hello?
With fiber, we save more on fast, reliable internet. And we can prove it.
Go to BTC's website and compare for yourself.
Select your current product, price, and location.
You'll see how much you can save with BTC.
Link up with better value.
Link up with BTC.
Since they were on sale, Monique couldn't resist things she didn't need. And neither did Bruno. Hungry for deals? You better come and satisfy that hunger with a great pick meal for only $20 at KFC before doing something crazy. Get 8 pieces of juicy, fresh, in-store prepared KFC fried chicken and 4 buttery biscuits, all for only $20. A finger-licking good deal.
Bahamas Liquidation and Auction Center is the place to be. Here, you can find a selection to shop from groceries, appliances, furniture, home decor, and so much more. From brands like Target, Wayfair, Walmart, Best Buy, and Amazon, just to name a few. Call us today at 698-0123 or WhatsApp us at 557-2522 and like us on Facebook. Here are the deals for the week. Walk it out at Bahamas Liquidation. Bahamas Liquidation and Auction Center, where you say hello to goodbyes.
Bahamians are rediscovering Grand Bahama through immersive staycation experiences at Lighthouse Point Grand Lukai. Hamper yourself at our Senses Spa or savor exotic cocktails by the sea. Unwind and enjoy. serenity, 18 holes of golf, fine dining, romance, business conventions and meetings, grand outdoor events. For Bahamas resident rates at Lighthouse Point, call 242-373-1333 or WhatsApp message 827-8195.
In crime news this evening, police are probing the alleged rape of a woman around 5 a.m. Wednesday. According to reports, the woman went for a walk along Prince Charles Drive, heading east towards the beach. While walking in a bushy area, she was grabbed from behind by an unknown man wearing a hooded jacket who reportedly told the woman he had a gun before raping her. Investigations into the matter continue. All with rosy tourism numbers to lending to sustained economic recovery, Labor officials are looking to get an increasing number of people off the unemployment line. Our Desmond Saunders spoke recently to the Director of Labor, who shared the significance and impact of the Labor on the Blocks initiative.
Since its launch in 2016, Labor on the Blocks has led to 3,000 jobless Bahamians finding work. Director of Labor Robert Farquharson sees that achievement as a shining testament to the work of his department as well as its partners who were determined to reduce the country's unemployment rate.
I was reassigned the portfolio of Director of Labor in September of 2001. So from upon that, I said, you know something, we need to reinvigorate this program. 2021, right after COVID-19, a lot of unemployment, a lot of people lost their jobs as a result of COVID-19. We shouldn't wait for these people to come to us. Let's take it to the people. So we wrote to the Ministry of Education, we wrote to community organizations, we wrote to churches. We said, we want to find a way to meet the people. The pastor says, this is a wonderful idea. Bring it to our communities. So on March the 7th of 2001, we launched the first Labor on the Blocks at Columbus Primary School on Wolf Road.
While the program continues to reap huge dividends nationally, Farquharson's concerned about the aptitude level of many job seekers, coupled with those lacking the necessary skills to enter the labor force.
Many of the employers says that people come for an interview in short pants and T-shirt, in slippers. How could you give a first impression to an employer when you dress like that? And when we dug deeper into the situation, they just didn't have it. Our other lessons we learned is that many of the people coming to these job fairs were not prepared for interviews, not only how they dress, but how to respond to questions by employers. How could you come for an interview in proper clothes, but when someone asks you a question, you say, yeah.
As part of its campaign to get more Bahamians prepared for work, the Department of Labor has introduced Labor on the Campus, a program targeting high school seniors, a job clothing drive, and an outreach for Bahamian professionals abroad.
The government is committed to filling these vacancies with Bahamians that are available. Section 86 of the Employment Act says that the Department of Labor should not issue a labor certificate if they are satisfied that there is a qualified and available Bahamian to fill their jobs. And many times people have come to us carrying on and arguing because we deny applications. I had a hotel this morning put in an application to hire bartenders and servers, and I turned them down because I can assure you there are qualified Bahamians available to fill a position. I had a hotel in one of the Farm Islands. They come write me a second letter. I denied an application for a food and beverage manager. Why should we hire a manager or front of it? We are the tourism capital of this region.
With a slight decrease in unemployment, a vibrant economic rebound, and strong growth in tourism, Farquharson is convinced the market is ripe with opportunities for those who are ready and qualified, and those seeking employment should register with the department. Desmond Saunders of Bahamas Tonight.
The Supreme Court has granted an injunction against leader of the FNM, Michael Pintard, and party chairman, Dr. Dwayne Sands. The ruling's the end result of FNM Vice Chair Richard Johnson taking legal action last year after he was suspended from attending FNM Council meetings. Now, according to the ruling handed down on March 5th, Pintard and Sands are restrained from prohibiting and interfering with Johnson as he carries out his duties as F&M Vice Chair. And that includes, but not limited to, his attendance and participation in all Executive Committee and Central Council meetings organized by the F&M. Johnson maintains this court order propels his confidence in the country's democracy.
I am elated that in our country, that our court systems can see that where there's error in wrong, and they can adjudicate over these matters. But I will tell you, I feel encouraged to know that the persons who've supported me then supported me today. And there are a lot of people who are in our organizations will say that, you know, I've been run from the UBP. I was run from Cecil Waters Whitfield. I was run from Kendall Isaacs and Tommy T and Hubert Ingram and Dr. Hubert Minnis. They have never seen nothing like this in this organization, and they resent this type of leadership as relates to democracy in our party. I feel confident in my role, in my position. If I were to consider, I am considering running for chairman of the party next convention.
Well, F&M National Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands confirming in a press release today that the party's attorneys were served with a March 8th court order, which was granted ex parte by Supreme Court Justice Fraser as the hearing happened without notice and in the absence of their attorneys. He says the party is seeking legal advice on the order and will address it before Justice Fraser is in due course. Sands contends, though, that the court has not, by the said order or otherwise, expressed a substantive view on Johnson's allegations and serves only to restore and preserve the previously existing state of affairs pending further or final order, and will be complied with as the party takes the necessary steps to secure a further hearing on the matter. Well, the newly elected executive team of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas Retirees Association paying a call on corporation execs today, presenting Executive Chairman and General Manager Andrew Burrows with association T-shirts. Chairman Paisel Forbes welcomed the group that he says will always have a place at the BCB. He also congratulated the association's executive team on their appointments.
And many of you would have been foundational members of this corporation, seeing it from its white roll rising from the dust through the many years. And I want you to continue to be our eyes and ears on the ground. No one would protect us and defend us like you would. And if you hear those T's and D's not sounding quite right, and you know, please give us a call. Misspelled words on our teleprompters and also on our community page. Please remind us, let us know, because we are only as strong as our weakest link.
The association's president, Charles Russell, highlighted some concerns for retirees while calling for greater collaboration with the BCB. Burrows noted that the 86-year-old corporation has a lot of people that have moved in that it can use as resources.
But it's our goal to keep the group together, and we'd like to do partnership with the corporation. We want a better communication and so forth. We will have events that we want you to be a part of.
That is going to continue in an even bigger way this year as we celebrate 50th year as a country, where a lot of you would have seen this little nation from a very peculiar vantage point, being broadcasters. So I'm very happy that the association is here with us today.
Well, now time for the weekly poll question, and this week we're asking, should repatriation exercises be extended to more family islands, yes or no? To participate, simply log on to our website, www.znesbahamas.com, as well as any of our social media platforms to answer. The poll's final results will be aired on Friday. And as always, thanks for participating. The National Report returns after this.
Good to grow, keeping you in the know, keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
Nice woman. Nice. just a woman, and I can plant until I can't stand up.
That's Diane Thompson, affectionately called Lady Di, a Bahamian pineapple farming legend. She came to Eleuthera in 1975. Back then, her husband was a fisherman, and when he would go out to sea, she would help her brother Linwood in his field. One day, she told her brother that she wanted her own field, and that's where it all got started. One New Year's, as the family gathered for dinner, she took her husband, who had recently returned from sea, on a drive for a big surprise.
I call him Cooley. He said, that's a pretty little piece of pine. I said, well, maybe this much right in this area here. So I say, you think so? He said, yeah. I say, that's my little field. He say, no. I said, that's my little field. I say, and I explained it to him. So he said to me, he said, Diane, I can help you. He started bringing me little fertilizer, and we went from that to that to that to that. And my first break-in was about like 18 dozen. But to me, whew, that's plenty.
Now her name and her pineapples are known worldwide.
See, trust. And you don't sell garbage. And if a pine isn't good enough for me to eat, I'm not going to give it to you to sell. Sell it to you to eat.
However, Lady Di says it's been far from easy.
I keep adding on and go from one place to the other, get my little worker to help me chop the bush and use a chainsaw. Man, it's hard work. I tell you the God's truth. Sometimes when you get them, you're so tired you don't even want to eat. You just want something cool to drink.
According to Lady Di, it was especially difficult to rebuild her farm following the passage of Hurricane Andrew. But she is glad she didn't give up, as her harvest continues to increase.
I say, Lord, 600 dozen, you know how much pines that is? And so I help other people who wanted a little bit of slips. I never was greedy. I say, well, I could give you like 100 dozen, and I'll give this one a little 100. Give now, not sell. And that everybody could get started.
Having already established herself, Lady Di is proud to see her children following in her footsteps. She encourages young people to get involved in agriculture.
In any business you enter into, it's got to take about 3 years for you to bring in a profit. The pineapples only take 18 months.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Georgie Obey.
Students at the Government High School were exposed to opportunities in the finance and banking sector during the school's recent career fair. Felicia Francis, who represents the Bahamas Institute of Financial Services, said that there are a wide range of opportunities.
At the Bahamas Institute of Financial Services, we are a financial school who educates persons who are interested in going into the financial sector. We are promoting our G12 program for our grade 12 students just to get their feet wet. We also have 2 programs, upgrading math and upgrading English. For students who did not pass their BCSE, they can come to us, do those 2 courses, be on the same level as BCSE, and then they can move on into our 2 programs, Financial Services Certificate and Financial Services Diploma. Those programs would kind of put the students at a bigger advantage to go into the banks to work in different areas. Once they would have finished those 2 programs, we also encourage them to come back and do higher level courses like Certified International Risk Manager, Certified Financial Planner, Wealth Management, Anti-Money Laundering. So it's basically where they want to go in banking. We have all kind of different classes that they can come and teach with us.
Francis believes that banking is a lucrative and rewarding industry, and more of our public school students should consider jobs in the commercial and offshore financial sector.
I feel like a lot of the government school students are disadvantaged because they don't know about us. Everybody is pushing the bigger schools, but with us, we're a smaller school, so it's more intimate with the classes. The students will be able to have a one-on-one with the instructors. If they're having any issues, it's a smaller setting.
For Air Talk, I am Denise Pratt.
You can find it all at Builders Mall. From cement, lumber, block, plumbing, and electrical, to paint, lights, vanities, and tiles. Not to mention all the tools you could possibly need to get the job done. Say if you're starting a major project, adding the finishing touches, or just doing some repair or rental work around the house. FYP, the Paint Center, and Tile King can help. Stop by or call 601-8453. located 69 Wolf Road, Nassau. You can find it all at Builders Mall. Building, painting, and tiling, the Bahamas.
At Solomon's, we're all about family. We believe in quality brands and giving you what you need and more for every occasion. Our store is filled with items for the entire family, celebrating everyday living for you and those you love. Shopping is now more rewarding than ever with My Solomon's Smart Rewards. Shop Solomon's because family matters.
The work and legacy of trailblazing women in the country highlighted during the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated International Women's Day event at the University of the Bahamas. Sorority President Margot Adderley says it was important to recognize the work of leading figures who've made significant strides in the country.
To ensure that women are aware of their rights, and then we also want them to be aware that it's important for them to understand that we do make a difference and that there are women who blaze trails, and for them to be able to follow them in order to make significant impacts in our Bahamian society.
Guest speaker and former parliamentarian Alison Maynard Gibson says equity and equality are key issues to women's empowerment.
So women being more equally represented in Parliament. We're very happy that we've seen the advance of 7 women elected. But when you look at the House of Assembly, that's definitely not enough, and we're losing the opportunity. Mao spoke about a bird with one wing. The bird will soar when both wings are being utilized. So when we have more women at the table, I'm not in any way suggesting that a woman should be chosen simply because she's a woman. Obviously, we want qualified women. But what we should look at is whether or not the system is such that it makes it almost impossible for there to be equality.
In related news, BAF Global Group celebrating women in technology during its 2nd annual Women's Day brunch held at the Bahama Resort Wednesday morning. In attendance, some 150 women who heard from speakers like aeronautical engineer and founder and CEO of STEM Board Aisha Bowe and Jamie Pettin, CEO of Canada North Business Tech Park. BAF Marketing Coordinator Aaliyah Austin says the event highlights the strides women have made and inspires.
So what we're doing is encouraging and sending the message out there to women that, listen, you can be anything you want to be. If you want to go into a world of technology, if you want to go into a world of IT and coding and systems, you can do it. We have a culture where that area is dominated by men. And so we're here with these women who have kind of set the mark, who are out there doing it, and they are telling persons and they're telling women and encouraging women, hey, you could be whatever you want to be. You got this.
Deputy Managing Director of BAF Global Group, Deborah Parker, says this year's event builds on last year's. She says a registration fee was introduced, and the plan is to donate those funds to charities which highlight diabetes awareness and education for women and children.
For us, 75–80% of our staff are female. We have members of our executive and management team that are now female, and we're very proud of what they have accomplished over the years. This is not just in recognition of them, but of course recognition of women around the world. And we find that this is important. While we are fortunate to be free to express ourselves, there's still too many women in the world who are going unheard and unrecognized. And the more we keep bringing International Women's Day to the forefront, we're hoping that that will make a mark.
Female staffers, who company officials say are some of the most powerful people at the Margaritaville Beach Resort, received accolades and recognition for their efforts Wednesday during a luncheon in their honor on International Women's Day. Vice President of Operations Ed Gunderson says the female staff play a pivotal role at the property.
We're here to celebrate all the women here at Margaritaville and throughout the company and throughout the country here. We have a number of directors, managers, department heads that are frankly female. The most important ones are really in the revenue departments, so they are actually run all the revenue aspects, sales, marketing, revenue management. We have another fabulous director who's our director of food and beverage, and she's also female. So it's really important for us to want to have more females very active within our own business community. So we have about 50 people here from the hotel from Margaritaville celebrating with us. So we're very happy to be here.
The resort's managing director, Craig Martin, also sang the women praises.
Celebration of International Women's Day, we want to bring everybody together in the hotel that helps us run this great hotel, and really say thank you for all their accomplishments and achievements in our building.
The measure of a man. Over his 83 years, George Myers was bestowed many accolades and achieved too many awards to count. But to thousands, the iconic Jamaican-born businessman was a mentor and friend, one whose impact to the local tourism industry cannot be overstated. As fondly recalled during a memorial this morning, celebrating his larger-than-life life. The notes of jazz legend Louis Armstrong's I Did It My Way floats through Christ Church Cathedral on George Street. A candle lit just ahead of a packed congregation of policymakers, senior government officials, the diplomatic corps, tourism giants, and relatives belting out the 19th century Swedish poem, How Great Thou Art. The official start of a celebration of life for George R. Myers, M.B. 2 letters representing one of the country's highest awards. A well-deserved honor for an incredible man, but as his nieces and nephew recall, there were 2 other letters that reflect another proud and important role in Myers' life, and in turn, his family's. George R. Myers, UG, Uncle George, that is, a relationship that took on even greater meaning following the passing of his brother over 30 years ago.
Our overly spoiling, short-tempered, fun-loving, hard-working, know-it-all, stern but adoring uncle became even more to us. More of a protector, more of our teacher, our father figure, our greatest fan, our mentor, our biggest supporter, and most of all, our friend.
Dedicated to his career, committed to passion, Myers' niece, Tina Myers-Metallan, says right now her uncle is probably compiling a board or association to develop luxury resorts, premium airlift, and restaurants in no time.
If you've had the pleasure of knowing him, then you have been blessed. If you've had the honor of being yelled at by him, then you have learned a thing or two. And if you've had the strength to take it, then you have grown.
In a witty tribute, former Tourism Director General Vincent Vanderpool Wallace jokingly shared that Myers was not only his mentor, but his eternal tormentor, who had a penchant for giving him impossible tasks.
I made a mistake decades ago telling him I hated the name Vinny. Well, that made me Vinny forever. So I learned to like it. It was his assistant, my fellow tormented Sonia Dames, who told me from the beginning that George only raised his voice with people he believed had much to offer, and that was his way of continuing to challenge them. Now you understand why we all stood there with smiles on our faces whenever he was yelling at something we had done or failed to do. That meant we mattered.
Successive governments can attest to his sage advice. The Bahamas loved George, George loved the Bahamas, and the two benefited as fondly recalled by former Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Hubert Ingraham, and the present Prime Minister, the Honourable Philip Davis.
There are few major developments in the hospitality sector in the Bahamas that have not benefited from George's insight and guidance. I will miss our friendship, our meetings, and his sage advice. I pray happy memories of George will be a consolation to his family, friends, and associates.
The significant and consequential qualities of George Myers were all intangible, incorruptible, and intergenerational in nature. They're all keys to success in life and in business, both as an employee and as an employer. And best of all, they were offered free of charge. I therefore commend these life lessons to all gathered here today.
George R. Myers, 83.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A brand that you can trust. Family Guardian.
TCL Group and Cable Bahamas Business Solutions present Grand Bahama Business Outlook 2023 under the theme Forward, Upward, Onward, Together. Our keynote speaker is the Honorable Chester Cooper, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation. Come join us at the Grand Lucayan Resort on Thursday, March 16th or attend via Zoom. Register today at tclevents.com.
Searching for insurance for your beloved senior citizen? Star General offers the Silver Medical Plan for which you can apply up to age 85. The network includes the finest hospitals and healthcare centers worldwide. Insurance is provided through an AM Best A-rated insurer with reinsurance support through Lloyd's of London. Other features include no medical tests required, 4 deductibles, and $2 million lifetime benefits. Visit or call Star General Health and Life Insurance today.
What if I told you that the future is here? That is not some magical door we walk through, but a place we create. It's home. It's a place where you can download a 2-hour movie in seconds and stay connected to loved ones even when traveling far from home. The fastest, most secure, and reliable way to stream the internet, so you can do what you want, whenever you want. Where internet moves at lightning speeds, smoother and more reliable than anything you've ever seen. This future-proof technology can take you to worlds that you can only imagine. That's the power of Alive Fiber. The future is here. The future is home. The future is Alive Fiber.
The most important thing in life is family. And whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
Economic Affairs Minister, the Honourable Michael Alkeid, is addressing concerns in a local daily that cited that Family Island residents are bracing for an inevitable property tax. He stressed that Bahamians do not pay property tax in the Family Islands as they are exempt.
It will continue to be. There is no decision by the government to impose real property tax on Bahamians in the Family Islands. It has not been raised. It has not been discussed. It has not been debated. No decision has been made. It will not happen.
Well, in keeping with Priority 5 of the Commissioner of Police's 2023 plan, School Resource Officer Sergeant 3647 Nelrico Brown on Tuesday visited Exuma's Forest Primary School. There, he met with students of various grade levels, educating them on peer pressure, conflict resolution, and bullying and its consequences. We understand the initiative was well received. Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makishla. We are under mostly clear skies. Temperature at 73 degrees. The relative humidity, 58%. We have northeast winds at 13 miles per hour. The barometric pressure, 1,019.4 millibars at 30.10 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the family violence this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 75 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Grand Key, Marsh, Abaco, a little cooler at 72 degrees. Berry Island, 74. Alistown, Bimini, also 74 degrees, 72 in Harbor Island. Rock Sound, Eleuthera, 74 degrees. Black Point, Exuma, and Kemp Space on Andros at 75. 74 in Fresh Creek, Central Andros. Picking up some 73s in Otterstown, Cadallen, San Salvador, and Rumkey. Georgetown, Exuma, 74 degrees. 75s in Ragged Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Megawana, 84. Acklands, 84. Matthewtown, Inagua, 76. And the Turks and Caicos Islands at 75 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center. For all areas tonight, the winds are going to be easterly at 10 to 15 knots. The wave height's just around 2 to 4 feet. High tide, that will occur at 9:12 tonight. Now, tomorrow, in the northwestern parts of our country, the winds will become southeast at 10 to 15 knots, so we'll see temperatures warming up. The wave height's 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. The high tide, that will occur at 9:26 in the morning with the low tide at 3:38 in the afternoon. Now, for the central and southeastern islands tomorrow, easterly winds at 10 to 15 knots, and the wave height's 2 to 4 feet over the ocean, with caution flags in place because of some easterly swells. And then as we take you into Saturday, in the northwestern islands, the wind southwest to west, increasing 15 to 20 knots. This is behind the frontal system that will push through late on Saturday. The wave heights will be building 4 to 6 feet over the ocean. The high tide on Saturday takes place at 10:03 in the morning, with the low tide at 4:13 in the afternoon. Now, for the central and southeastern islands, winds southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. And once again, we'll keep those caution flags in place due to those moderate easterly swells. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assure.
Continue to fight. Forgive them peace and love, and everything will be all right. Say, hey, na, na. Hey, na, na. Hey, na, na. Hey, na, na. Gimme, 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 gimme. Give me the music. Wow. Gimme, 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 gimme. Give me the movie. Gimme, 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 gimme. Woo. Give me the country. Gimme, 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 gimme.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
My culture. Link up with BTC and call it one and done. Link up with BTC and call it one and done.
I'm Corvell Pyfrom, and we are seeing purple all across our company as BTC joins in with organizations around the world in observing International Women's Day. And its message, embrace equity.
We are so appreciative and so blessed to work for a company where the achievements of women are all recognized as well as celebrated. We not only celebrate what women can do, there's no glass ceiling in BTC. You can go as far as you want to go.
Even acknowledging and celebrating International Women's Day is a statement in and of itself. So I applaud BTC for doing that. You know, LLA, our parent company, has done groundbreaking movements from an inclusion perspective and increased for maternal leave from 13 weeks to 16 weeks. And for adopting parents and for fathers, it's 8 weeks. So these are breakthrough moves that our parent company has made and we're benefiting from. But also, I'm really proud of our composition of women within our organization.
It's so very important, especially for the young girls in our society, and then the women who are joining the company and coming up looking for opportunities to excel. They don't have to limit themselves and where they want to go in this field. And when we take the time to embrace this, to celebrate it, we get to see that celebrating ourselves is very important.
So for all of us at BTC, we say to you, Happy International Women's Day. These are still the moments that move us. I'm Corvell Pyfrom. Be well and be back here next. BTC Connection. Hey,
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant back again with another episode on the do's and don'ts at a service station. Let's go. What you ain't gonna do is just pull up to any dispenser and put the nozzle inside your car without reading the signs. Because if you put the wrong fuel inside your car and the car mess up, you could be mad at us, all right? And then you have to walk or catch bus for about 3 to 18 months. What you're supposed to do is read the signs. We place signs all over the dispenser to tell you which fuel is which. Because you put the wrong one in your car, say bop, and you could be mad at us. You could be, oh, what happened to my car? No, it's you who ain't read. It's a diesel, diesel, one word, diesel. You got up, and you mad at us. Read, that's all you have to do.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Good evening, everybody. It's Sports Thursday. I'm Charles Fisher. One more day to go in the run for the GSSA Track and Field Championships at the Thomas A. Robertson Stadium. After 2 days of competition, the Raptors of Sage Reeves, the defending champs, they are ahead in the juniors, while the Knights of C.R. Walker, looking to joust themselves to another win in the seniors, lead that by more than 100 points. Let's take a look now at some of the action on the track. First up, the under-17 girls 100 meters. It was a clean sweep for the Stingrays of C.V. Bethel as Aisha Hanna and Sania Lockhart taking first and second respectively. Way to go, Stingrays. Under 20 girls, Rattlers Melviny Gibson tearing up the straight to win in 11.94 seconds. Stingrays Markel Newbold second in 12.21, and rounding out the top three, Kevin East Hanna from Government High in 12.33. And to the under-20 boys, where last year's Grifter standout Carlos Brown Jr. from Sierra Walker bested the field in a win-aided 10.50 seconds. Somali Farrington from R.M. Bailey second in 10.64, and Doris Johnson, Terrence DeVoe third, 10.83. Quite an easy run for Brown.
Well, I'm not surprised, but I just want to thank the Lord for allowing me to finish the race injury-free. I only wanted to get out hard, drive, stand up tall, and maintain my form straight to the finish line. You know, that's my first time running 100 from like a month or two ago. So just happy about it.
It was a big celebration on Jean Street Thursday morning as students, faculty, and officials celebrated with the senior boys basketball team in winning the BAISS basketball championship and reaching the Elite Eight of the Hugh Campbell basketball tournament. A spirit-filled performance by the primary school. Cheerleading squad also getting into the school spirit. School's principal, Annadelle Thompson, still celebrating the first ever for the Cougars.
Our team and coaches, Burrows and Dean, have made us so proud. Charles W. Sanders has always made its presence felt over the years, as Reverend Duncombe said, in the sporting arena, particularly in the area of softball, winning numerous softball tournaments in various categories. Today, I am happy to say that we are enlarging our territory and spreading our wings in other areas as well.
President of the BAISS, Reverend Dr. Perry Cunningham, principal at Temple Christian, happy to be in the land of the Cougars.
I have been privileged to be a part of this association for a number of years. I started in 1987. So I've seen quite a bit happen during the time. The premier sporting of all our sports that we have, our association that persons look to, it's not the junior boys or the senior girls or softball. In this country, it has always been basketball. Basketball. And a school of this size with 15 private schools in our association. 11 out of the 15 dare to participate this year. And for C.W. Saunders, among schools that are 100 years old, to be at the top this year is a mark of distinction and achievement, young man.
And tonight, Amajal Knowles introduces us to 4 Bahamian swimmers that's making a splash on the collegiate scene.
1. That's the number of all-black swim programs in Division 1. That program just happens to be the Howard University Bisons, whose men's program just won its first conference championship in school history. Now, what exactly does that have to do with the Bahamas, you may ask? Well, a lot, as 5 Bahamians are part of the swim and dive program that recently made history. We caught up with 4 of them to get their thoughts on the feat.
Well, to both of us, we know that it's been well, for me personally, it's been a very long journey. A lot of morning practices, a lot of gym work, a lot of just hard mental spaces to go through. So just coming through and getting the win was a big deal for us, especially with a conference championship not happening, championship win not happening in so long. It's been a big deal for us.
Like Earl said, it's been a big deal, and even before us, this has been set in motion for the swimmers who came before us. We just carried on the torch and completed the goal of winning conference championship. But there's been a lot of work that's been put in. Coach Nick has really worked on his recruiting and recruiting the right people for the team to be able to get to this level and win a conference championship.
With Howard being the only current HBCU with a thriving swim program, the swimmers understand the significance of their representation.
Being, black, it always seems like, black people shouldn't be in the water. But we, clearly we're in the water, we're swimming, we're training hard, we're, breaking records. It's just a huge, huge deal when it comes to black people in swimming.
Honestly, I think the representation is really important, especially with all of the media that we do get, being the only HBCU with a swim team. I think it's important to be that representation that you can do it too.
Well, I know that the stereotype of black people cannot swim is very known inside America, and they tend to judge us based on the color of our skin over there. So just coming out and showing that our colors of our skin does not define us, and the sport that we can do is big for Howard University.
And being the only HBCU with a swim team at a Division I level is a really big deal, especially when there's only 1.5% of black swimmers in collegiate swimming. And being able to come out and do what we did is a real accomplishment for not only us, but the country and for black people in America and around the world.
For the female swimmers, they hope to one day see more HBCU swimming programs be resurrected.
I loved seeing HBCU championship. I feel like it would be the hottest swim meet in college history. I would love to see other black people swimming and competing especially at the Division I level, because we can do it. It's not like we don't have the black swimmers. Yes, we're a minority, but that doesn't mean we're not there.
Yeah, even if it's not like only Division I swimmer teams, just HBCUs in general. Like, if all of us were to come together and have one big swim meet, I feel like the energy would be unimaginable. It would just be a really good event.
The local swim community boasts a camaraderie unmatched to most sports here at home, and those relationships have continued to grow even while at the collegiate level.
Having the Bahamian swimmers there has honestly been comforting. It almost is like bringing a piece of home over there, and being able to have that close family. Sometimes we have little cookouts on the weekend, little peas and rice. My sister will make some food for us.
And right next to me, Luke Thompson. For my first meet, I was very nervous. And having him there, someone who walked before me, just, plodding the way for me, he was there to encourage me, just to be there for me. He's been a very big role model for me. He's also as an older brother. So having, our fellow Bahamians up there with us is a big deal for us.
Missing from the quartet was Mark Anthony Thompson, the brother of Luke Kennedy and Zaylee Elizabeth. However, the group hopes to continue knock down barriers one swim at a time. For Zenitol Sports, I'm Amajal Knowles.
That's it for Sports Thursday. Great job there, Amajal. I'm Charles Fisher. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Shopping online isn't new to the market, but gaining access to affordable healthcare products at the click of a button is the greatest customer experience. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Limited gives access to a complete customer journey, from shopping in our retail store on 9th Terrace, Centerville, to shopping online at your convenience from work or from the comfort of your home. Offering delivery and pickup options. Remember, if it's healthcare, it's here. Shop online today.
March into your favorite Super Value and Quality Supermarkets location for great specials like Country Barn Mayonnaise, 30 ounce, $3.75. Amerlander Milk, assorted 1 liter, $2.49. Hill and Dale Eggs, extra large, 1 dozen, $4.29. Jamestown Bacon, 16 ounce, $4.99. Fresh ground beef, $4.99 per pound. Donate your change to help feed Humane Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, some warm weather expected over the next day or so as a frontal system heads our way, and that will bring some cooling now. We'll tell you about that in just a short while. But right now, that high pressure is in control of our weather, and that will gradually slide towards the east, making way for that frontal system to get through here sometime late on Saturday. Tonight, though, we're looking at mainly clear skies, low temperature just around 64 degrees, and tomorrow it's going to be mostly sunny with a passing shower possible in the afternoon, and that's primarily because of the warm temperatures we expect. 78 degrees for your high temperature. And then the extended weather forecast looking like this. Showers working their way into our forecast Friday afternoon, but by Saturday, those showers will become more scattered as that frontal system gets a little closer. And once that frontal system goes through, we're going to see temperatures dropping into the 60s as we head into the early part of next week, and those temperatures will get even lower by the middle of the week. 62 degrees we expect on Wednesday. Makishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.